Here at the Brave New Teaching Podcast, we are always looking for the newest, most engaging, and fantastic books for you, the teachers, to step up your game and enhance your practice. And we have a brand new book recommendation for you that we just couldn't wait for an entire episode to share. If you are looking for a professional development book that's going to serve you over this winter break, or maybe even as a gift to a fellow educator, we have got your next recommendation. You need to check out Roll Call by Dr. Jenna Copper. As you know, Dr. Jenna Copper is one of the greatest friends we have over here at the podcast. You have downloaded her interview with Marie almost more than any other episode. So I know that a lot of you have heard Jenna and her work and what she's up to. So not only should you listen to that episode, but you need to check out Jenna's brand new book. This book is phenomenal. And as you know, Dr. Copper is an education professor and former English teacher. So she's in everything from teaching students to teaching teachers. And she has written the ultimate guide to creating lessons that will really and truly captivate your students while still meeting those all-important standards. This book, Roll Call, is packed with practical strategies and innovative ideas that will transform your classroom. And for a very special bonus time, Jenna is offering an exclusive perspective plan toolkit absolutely free when you purchase Roll Call. It's going to be so awesome, and you are going to love all of the new ideas that you get. You can buy Jenna's book right now on Amazon. So head over to Amazon.com. Find your copy of Roll Call, and then once you have your order, you're going to go to rollcallbonus.com. That's ROLECALLBONUS.com, Roll Call Bonus, or head to today's show notes and claim your free perspective plan toolkit. It's a freebie right now when she's launching her book for the very first time. It's not going to linger around for very long. Your students will thank you, and you're going to thank you, because this is going to make you feel good about teaching and really amp up your energy. We're so excited for you to read it yourselves and let us know what you think. Talk to you soon and enjoy the show.
Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching, and welcome to a different kind of episode. This is Marie, and you all are going to come with me to school today. Actually, it is very, very early in the morning, which is why I'm speaking in such soft and dulcet tones, because my kiddos are still asleep. But I have actually gotten myself up and out of bed before 6 o'clock this morning, which I used to do all the time. And I swear this school year especially has just been kicking my butt. So as I pace around my living room and chit chat with you all, yeah, we've got an exciting day ahead of us actually, because I am going to be turning my classroom into a reading fort for my two American Lit 11th grade English classes. And you're going to come along with me. But first, I need to brew some coffee, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves. And then I need to get myself ready before my kids get up in about 30 minutes. Because if you have dependents of any kind, be they human or animal, you know that the minute that they're awake, your time is no longer your own. So time for me to stop jibber jabbering and get on with that. And it's also time to cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your BNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so I am at school. I just bid my sixth grader goodbye. I think that if he could have sprinted with his backpack on away from me, he would have. Our schools share a parking lot, and he legitimately I don't know if it's the FOMO of thinking that like his friends or I don't know what the heck that kid's doing. But anyways, I'm in my empty office in our school's theater right now because that's generally where I like start my day and just kind of like get things under control. So if I haven't talked about it lately on the podcast, which I don't know that I have, I teach both theater and English out of high school, obviously. And so teaching theater, I have like space that's over in our performing arts center over in like the theater. That's like a theater office where all of that stuff is. But then I also have my classroom. So if you've ever like seen any of my YouTube videos, that's all setting up my English classroom and like takes place for the most part in my English classroom. So when I get to school, I generally start in the theater over here because this is where I'm going to end my day. My last class of the day is advanced theater production, and then I have rehearsal in the afternoons. And so right now we are probably a third, almost halfway through. I have to like remember exactly what the calendar says through the rehearsal process for Legally Blonde, the musical. So there's just kind of like, as I sit here looking around, there's just stuff all around me. But I just put my lunch in the refrigerator and I'm about to brew myself another cup of coffee, which is, if we're keeping a tally, I had one right after I talked to you earlier. And then I had another one while I was getting my kids ready and having breakfast. And this will be my third. And I probably shouldn't have admitted that, but oh well, it's already out there. Anyways, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to walk my little self over to the other side of campus. I do need to make I need to make a few copies for a friend of mine who is out right now and bring those to their sub. And then I will be over in my room. Oh, that's the thing I didn't tell you before I left. I grabbed every flat sheet that I could out of my house. I also grabbed like a big handful of clothespins and I had forgotten that I had some like sheer curtain panels and those are super lightweight. So I grabbed those because like I said before, we are going to turn my English classroom into a big fort. I honestly normally plan these things out if I'm doing like a big sort of classroom transformation basically is what I'm doing today, but I did not. So we're just going to see how this goes. And hopefully it doesn't take me more than like 10 minutes to do it because I'm not like crazy early this morning for school and I have a few things to do. So coffee, number one, and then I'm on my way. Okay. Um, I underestimated as I'm standing here in the middle of my room how to turn this gigantic box of room into a fort. But I feel like you can envision with me. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I started moving tables. You can envision with me, just like a box shaped room kind of looks like. If you haven't ever seen like my classroom tours, it's literally just a square. And I just have a bunch of tables. I have 9 tables, and then my little teacher area and the chair with the little coffee table that's down over in the side over here where the like dragon is, if you know what I'm talking about from my social media. Anyways, my thought originally was to go over like every table. I don't know what I was thinking. I was going to like make a tent over every table. And I don't know if I wanted to like turn them all on their sides. So like the legs of the table would be going out. I don't know. And then like hanging a sheet from the ceiling. Anyways, that's super not going to work out. But I have an idea. And also I teach juniors. So they're not like small kids. Like some of them are like 6'3". So if I actually want them to be able to have like a comfortable reading position for this reading fort, it's going to need to be a little bit more. I don't know. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to shove a bunch of tables against the walls. I am going to put kind of like tent openings over some of those tables, maybe throw my floor pillows that are over here underneath the tables that are against the walls and make like I can make like I have a unicorn, my daughter's unicorn sheet, and I can put it over in the corner and I can call it the unicorner. Okay, I'm going to try some things and I will let you know what happens. I do know that right now I'm not going to be able to put all of the chairs away because some of my students are not going to want to sit on the ground to read. But let me get setting all of this up and I will let you know how it goes. I have like 15 minutes before school starts. Well, my friends, listen, not only is it not before school anymore, it's actually like after lunch. So I teach first and second period, and then it's lunch, and then my prep is third period right now. And gosh, that's a glorious thing. And then advanced theater is fourth period. So I am over in the theater again, where I started my day. I'm back at it with you again. But basically, what I ended up doing, and I will put this on Instagram at least. I don't have like my good camera for YouTube, but maybe I'll see what I can do to put it on YouTube. I did make a unicorner. Let's be honest. I made a unicorner. That's what everybody came here to find out about. And then I made some little like table tents basically. And then I put like the shears that I had brought up and over some regular tables with chairs. And actually quite a few kids just kind of like cozied into a regular chair and sat in kind of the cover. Like I just hung from the ceiling with binder clips and the clothespins that I brought and some like paper clips because we've got like the ceiling panel thingies. So on the little metal runners, I was just hanging the sheets and stuff. And it honestly, like, it didn't really contain anybody. Like there were a couple kids who like cozied up all the way underneath the table, but for the most part, it just created like a whole vibe of it being cozy. And then I had a bunch of just random strings of lights that used to be up on the ceiling in my room that were just in a box. And so I kind of just strung them around the whole perimeter of the space. And it just made it fun. And I cannot tell you how adorable it was as students were walking in, like 16, 17-year-olds walking in going, "Oh, this is so cool. Oh, that's right. We get to read all day." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is my dream." In no way were we reading for the entire class period, but it was also just nice to like let kids sit and giggle on the ground and like lay down and chill out. And every kid read for a good chunk of class. Some kids were pissed when the bell rang because they were getting to a really good part of their books. And some kids had a hard time with the stamina of keeping up with a 90-minute class. Oh, actually, today's only 70-minute class periods, but still, like an hour and 10 minutes is a long time to read if that's not something that you usually do. But I will say both classes asked me if I would keep this up for tomorrow. So I certainly will be keeping this up. And then I have to take the whole thing down because we have like a whole week break next week for President's Week. And I can't leave sheets hanging from my ceiling for, more than 24 hours because I feel like the fire marshal would have a problem with that. Anyways, that was a success. I right now need to do some prep in my advanced theater class. Oh, that's the other thing. We read all of class period. I stopped us a couple times and I kind of like crawled around to different groups on the ground to just chit chat about where they were at with their books. We're doing a whole choice novel, like lit circle unit on fantasy. And the question that we're exploring is, why do we pursue escape? So this week we just chose our books and like got started. And today was kind of the day to like really get into their books and decide, is this the one that they're going to stay with or not? And a few kids swapped out. So luckily I had copies of the other choices. We decorated bookmarks when they needed to take reading breaks. And I busted out my laminator and I laminated them for them. And it was very fun. And they did some book snaps where they basically it's like a play off of Snapchat where they take a photo and then annotate using like a photo app or Instagram or whatever on their phone and then screenshot that and turn it in. They're just like reader response, first reactions to the first chunk of reading. I need to prep now for my advanced theater class this afternoon, teaching them in like an hour. We are doing a stage manager lab where every student is taking turns calling cues to a show like a stage manager does. And let me know, actually, friends, if that is something you would like me to talk more about. I know that here at Brave New Teaching, a lot of our audience is more towards the humanities, but even like, we do have many of us, especially English teachers, that get pulled into things like yearbook and journalism and theater, especially. So I set out to be a theater teacher like way back when I was originally becoming a teacher. And obviously I teach both. So if any of this is stuff that sounds interesting to you, just like let us know. Send us an email, send us a voicemail, something like that. And I can talk more about teaching theater. But I need to pre-record some light cues and some sound cues so that the kids can practice calling those cues, and then other kids can practice with the light board and the soundboard while other kids are rotating through being on stage. It's like a whole thing, but they're practicing being a stage manager and then reflecting on how that goes. And I need to do some prep. So with that, I will try my hardest to make it back here right after school, but I do have a rehearsal today. So we will see how it goes. Okay, my friends, it is late. It is like 9 p.m. actually. And I just realized that I never closed out our little episode. When I tell you how many of my students saw me with my little microphone, just kind of like in the little breaks when I was talking, and they would like walk into the room and be like, oh, what do I, and then be like, can I be on your podcast? And I was like, no, you silly dork, you cannot be on my podcast. And they'd say, why? And I'd say, because you're a minor. And they'd go, yeah, but you're like my mom. And I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not. I know your mom. She's a nice lady. I'm not. Oh, yeah, I know. Anyways, it was just funny how adorable they are. I had a very long day. Many of them are. I mean, like, any of us that do this job, period, all of the days are long, especially when you do extracurriculars. I am very lucky that we have an amazing choreographer with our musical, Legally Blonde, because it would not be the quality that it is if I was the one choreographing it. Let's just make that known. But I was very glad to have you all come along with me today, in your own way. You listening to me talking through how to put up a giant fort in my classroom helped me put up a giant reading fort in my classroom. I did get already, like I was just looking at my email, and that's how it somehow sparked my memory to come back on here and say goodbye to you all. I had a parent email me saying that their kiddo came home talking about how fun it was to read on the ground with their phone as a book light all of class today. And they just thought that was, I was like, thank you so much. I emailed back, thank you so much for telling me. We teachers really need these kinds of emails more often than not. And so I really appreciate that they emailed me. And so I just told them that. Yeah. So, I teach like 80 juniors, and of 80, I heard feedback from one. And you know what? We'll take the one. Friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I am in desperate need of an end of the workday shower. So I'm going to go do that. But I appreciate that if you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for hanging out with me for a very, very long 15-hour day. When did I start? Before 6 this morning? Yeah, 16-hour day. Yeah, I appreciate having you all with me. And if you are enjoying or you're interested in more either of the things I talked about today or more specific, like day in the life, almost like vlog style episodes, let us know. We just kind of wanted to, it's kind of like hanging out with us in our workspaces. Like I love just hanging out with my teacher friends in their classrooms. So we figured, hey, maybe you want to hang out with me in my classroom. And I feel like next time I should actually teach with the microphone and you can hang out with me while I'm teaching. That could be fun. Maybe we could do like a whole teach with me collaboration episode. Okay, friends, now I really do need to just go get in the shower and go to bed because now I'm talking crazy. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week at school. Next time it will be me and Amanda back at it. And yeah, have a wonderful week and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here and have a great week at school.